Joining us now is a man who will be compared to forever whenever they're talking about GOAT conversations in the sport of football. That's because he won 7 Super Bowls.
Whoa. Jeez.
Was consistently dominant for more than 2 decades at football. Ridiculously handsome. So absurdly handsome.
Yep. Always.
An underdog story, too. Picked at 199 of the NFL draft. Not a top 5 pick. Not handed anything. And then what did he do? He went to work, did his job, became the greatest of all time. And now, a phenomenal businessman in a great representation of the greatest league on earth. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
What's
dude.
up, my man?
Tom, I thought this was all potential gimmick rip. I didn't know if you were actually on the show. I'm so pumped you were here. Hey, we love you, dude.
Yeah.
We love you, Tom.
Appreciate it.
You look.
You got a great thing going, and you've had your own underdog story and your own path to success with your show, and so many good things are happening. I'm super excited about 2024, and it's off to a great start. Obviously, with the announcement of the NOBULL merger, I'm super excited about, and the Super Bowl's coming up. I'm excited about that, and I've been working hard on my Fox broadcasting opportunity, which I'm super excited about. So again, it's a fun year.
Well, we're lucky that this year has started with us being able to say you've joined us, and congrats on everything. Legitimately. Okay, obviously a lot of hard work goes into all of it. Let's talk about the TB12 brand and the Brady brand merging with NOBULL, a company out of Boston with Mike Rapoli, obviously. And whenever you launch TB12, I, as a guy who got a chance to play alongside Adam Vinatieri, who had somebody travel in and do the pliability and do basically, I think, what you were preaching and talking about the longevity. So I got a chance to see that. I think a lot of people did. Then you making that a brand to make everybody better. And then you building the Brady brand, now teaming with NOBULL. It's like, seems like everything's going exactly how you projected it to go with the brands. And how do you see the future with NOBULL going?
Yeah, I expect joining a big platform like NOBULL already has, I think, gives me the opportunity to impact a lot of lives. And I think a lot like what you're doing with your show, you start a certain path and then you get different opportunities and you create into a bigger opportunity. And I know there's massive growth potential. There's great business partner and leader with Mike Rapoli, who's become a great friend of mine over the last few years. And we have a great mission. We have a great vision, and there's still a lot of tactics to be worked out, but I love being affiliated with NOBULL. It's a Boston company. It's where my roots were. We care about our consumer, and we plan to do great things.
I think 10% off right now at NOBULLproject.com. And then there's also
free shipping on orders over $99.
So, and all the quality of the products. Hey, look at it. Hey, Tom, I got these NOBULL.
Let me see.
I got these
Now
NOBULL.
we're talking.
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Those look good.
Huh? I feel like I could throw
Those
a football.
look really good. I can't even pull that off right now. Look at you.
Hey, I'm flexible. Replayability, baby. Replayability, baby.
Pliable.
Yeah, you know what the deal is.
And I'm happy you've done that too. I mean, I think you talk about Adam Vinatieri really embracing that. I think, so much of what I want to do in my life is impact people in a positive way. And I've been blessed to be around the most amazing people. And my best friend and body coach, Alex, who taught me so much about how to take care of myself, really is the reason why I was able to play 23 years. And I say that in all humility. And I just loved playing so much. I never wanted to give it up. And unfortunately, I got to watch now. And I think in these moments when they got championship games and Super Bowls, next year I'm going to be calling a Super Bowl for Fox, which is going to be incredible. And it's been a different experience this year watching, but I've certainly enjoyed not getting hit by Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh anymore, and enjoying other parts of my life, which have been really fun.
Okay, well, let's talk about your football run for 23 years now. I brought it up just like a matter of moments ago. For that long to be that committed to something, was there just like a time warp that kind of took place? Like, did you, from like years, let's say 6 years, I played for 8 years. Okay, been nominated for the Hall of Fame twice in 8 years. Hey, no big deal. Never make in, but I'm nominated, and that is on the Twitter bio for the rest of my life. You played 3 times that at the quarterback position, which is obviously the amount of film and preparation, and you and Alex with the body work. Like, was there a moment in time that just kind of disappeared from like years 8 to year 20? Like, did you look up once and like, damn, I'm 2 decades into this thing? Or how did you kind of take each year? And at what point did you realize you were doing something that we had never seen before, Tom? Did you ever have that moment?
Yeah, it was a lot of step by step over a lot of years. So obviously falling in love with the sport, growing up in the Bay Area and seeing the 49ers, create their dynasty with my football idols, Joe Montana and Steve Young. And then I fell in love with it and went to Michigan, had some success there, and then ultimately went to the Patriots at the right time. And Coach Belichick was there and he embraced me. We had an amazing group of guys that really drove the culture of winning and success. And we had success playing, and I loved obviously playing quarterback. I got to be around all my friends, and you know what the locker rooms are like. There's so much joy in that. And in about 2006, 2007, I was like, wow, I'm loving this. I want to play as long as I can. And at that point, I was working pretty extensively with Alex, my body coach, and we just kept at it and refining what I was doing in the off season, my nutrition, my hydration, all my pliability treatments, how I would train and so forth, and started a business, TB12 Sports, in 2013. And I think we created a lot of change and impact in the world, certainly in the world of sports we did, but we had so many clients with testimonials that changed their life. And I want to broaden that in this merger with NOBULL to reach even more people. And if everyone can just make simple changes and get the right type of information, as we know, there's so much convoluted information out there, but to have really a direct source. And I'm not telling anyone to do anything that I haven't done or tried, and things that I want to see myself continue to grow in different areas. And certainly in sports, I did that. In broadcasting for Fox, I've really tried to attack that in the exact same way that I always approached my football career. And then in the entrepreneurial side of my life too, attacking this TB12 Brady brand merger with NOBULL to create more explosive growth is exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah, it seems like you've had success at actually everything. So, hey, way to go. Hey, way to go. Yeah. Now, it's not, you don't just get lucky. That doesn't just happen whenever you're just...
Well, I think the point is there's a lot of success certainly for myself, and you could speak to this as well, isn't necessarily linear. It's not a straight line. There's a lot of adversities. There's a lot of different challenges and learnings and growth and evolving. And I think that, I look back on the first 46 years of my life, and, the Frank Sinatra line, regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I feel like that's been my life, and I wouldn't change anything in terms of how I've approached my professional career. And I can look forward to continue all those lessons that I've learned from sports and teamwork and discipline and accountability into my Fox broadcasting job, into my other entrepreneurial aspects of my life, like this merge with NOBULL. So things are very positive, and all I'm going to do is continue to surround myself with people that I can learn from and that can continue to help me grow. I've spoke to a lot of broadcasters from this entire season, just learning from them, current broadcasters, ones that have done play-by-play analysis. And it's been really fun. I've connected with a lot of fun people. I've got great notes. I could probably write a broadcasting playbook at this point. But it's been something that I really challenged myself, and I really look forward to get on there and calling games for Fox starting in September.
I assumed that you were going to be obsessive with your preparation to call games, especially with how loud the conversation has been about Greg Olsen. Have you gotten a chance to chat with him about that? Was that a weird situation? Because like Stephen A. said earlier when I was on First Take, you joined him on his podcast, and I believe Stephen A.'s exact words were, that brother is going to kill it in the booth. And I think all of us that obviously have played the game understand that your brain talking over football is good for the NFL, the greatest of all time. Have you gotten a chance to chat with Greg? Has that become like a interesting situation for you at all? And how have you prepared this year? Have you done like fake games? Have you gone to a booth?
Yeah.
How has that whole thing kind of worked getting prepared for next year?
I've been out to Fox Studios a few times and done some really dry runs with Kevin, who's tremendous at what he does. I'm super excited to join an amazing team. Rich Russo and Richie Zions. We've talked a lot about football. We've talked a lot about how I see the game. And I think Greg's done an incredible job. I have so much respect for him, how he approaches his job. He's super prepared in what he does. I think he does an incredible job every time he's on. I love listening to him. And I'm just going to go in there and do the best I can do with my own perspective. And I certainly have had a unique vision and perspective of the game of 23 years. And hopefully I just can provide some insight to all the viewers and all the fans who love the game, who love the sport.
Unique. Yeah, I'd say.
It's unique. I've been a part of a lot of Super Bowls, championship games. I've had some, seasons that didn't go the way we wanted. I have some injuries. I was undrafted rookie. I've seen guys come in with great expectations and not meet it. I've seen underdogs like Julian Edelman come along and make it. So again, I think I've had 23 years of just observing, and I get to go on now and speak to a wider audience. And I used to probably use my body and my brain out there, and people would see me kind of lead the team down the field, and now I get to do that in a different way using my voice.
Okay, so you're one of those people that are up in that conversation, the Michael Jordan, the Wayne Gretzky, Serena Williams. You're the football representation of it. And I've heard you say, I just love my sport, and I think I think you and Kobe even had conversations about that type of thing.
Yeah.
All of those humans up there, okay, all those humans have an ability to, in The Last Dance with Michael Jordan, he was in Utah eating at a restaurant, and a coach walked in and was like, "Mr. Jordan, you look more handsome than I've ever seen you before. You were awesome." And then Michael Jordan's, "That's all I needed, that son of a bitch." He found motivation in that type of thing. I assume you were a very similar style person when everybody was just saying you were done throughout the last decade and a half of your career. But also going into the booth, are you utilizing the same thing, hearing what people are saying about you going in there? And how do you balance that while still being a human going forward?
Yeah, well, naturally, there's skepticism with a lot of different things when you try new areas of growth. I don't think naturally I'm going to go in and on day one have everything figured out. A lot like when I was a rookie in football, I'm going to be a rookie on Fox. And I've got a lot of great teammates that have really embraced me and have opened their arms to help me learn and understand exactly what I'm responsible for. And then I've gone out and I've tried to have my own personality and take on it. So I think there's definitely been some improvement over the course of this off season of broadcasting that I've taken off just because I really wanted a chance to really dig my feet in and understand exactly how to get good at this as fast as I can. But at the same time, the broadcaster I'm going to be 5 years from now is going to be hopefully more improved than the one that starts on day one. So I'm going to go in there with the opportunity to start and learn, and I'm sure by the end of the year I'll feel more comfortable. We have the Super Bowl on Fox next year in New Orleans, which was where I first played my first Super Bowl. John Madden and Fox was on the call. So there's some really cool things that, as I thought about taking that opportunity, is something that I really want to be a great ambassador for the NFL and the game. I love the sport. I love the athletes. I love the organizations, and I really appreciate how, when I watched these games this last weekend, how challenging it is to get there again, like the Chiefs has, and the 49ers, the organizations that they've put together from the top down, and great coaching staffs, the players have bought in, and that's why you're able to win year after year. And I was fortunate to be a part of that organization at the Patriots for 20 years. I tried to do things the right way. We all came together as a team. And that's really what life's about. It's about surrounding yourself with great teammates, and nothing of significance comes as an individual in life. You have to trust and rely on other people to do their job and do the things that you're not great at. I feel like there were so many things I was incapable of on the field. I couldn't catch a pass. I couldn't run. I couldn't play defense. I couldn't make a tackle. What I could do was I could try to think my way through the game, throw the ball accurately, be a good leader. And I surrounded myself with a lot of players who could do those things. Hall of Fame type players like Randy Moss and Wes Welker, Julian Edelman. So many talented players that I got to play with over a long period of time.
1,000-yard rusher, though. Don't ever forget it.
Hell yeah.
Don't ever. Hey.
1,000 sneaks.
Hey, doesn't matter. Remember, this guy's the best at this.
Yeah.
This guy is the best at this. You were able to find it, touchdown score. Obviously, nobody's picking Tom Brady in a race against other professional athletes.
Definitely not.
But you need a yard. Nobody's picking anybody other than Tom Brady. Maybe Jason Kelsey's ass.
Yeah. He's up there.
With the
It was pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty solid. Jalen Hurts, obviously, they changed the game with that whole thing. And you talk about this Kansas City Chiefs team. We are naturally just calling them the next dynasty. For the last 5 Super Bowls, obviously 2 times winning it. And then what Patrick Mahomes has been able to do. Travis Kelce is going to go down as greatest of all time. I assume Gronk, in your eyes, greatest of all time. There's going to be arguments made for both of them. Andy Reid is going to go down as one of the greatest coaches of all time. So as the person who is at the quarterback helm of a dynasty that lasted 27 some years up there in New England, which is going to be hard to achieve ever again in any sport. Why do you think it took place? You think it's just strictly, and from the way it sounds like you're going to answer this is, well, great teammates and everything like that. But whenever they talk about the Patriot Way, that is normally the reason that is given, is like the Patriot Way, the Patriot Way, the Patriot Way. And then people say, well, is that Tom or is that Bill? What do you think about that? Well, that whole
I think that sounds like, I've never used that term in my entire life. I think when people say it, I'm always like, what's the Patriot Way? It sounds like the title of a book. I think what we tried to do was we tried to do things the right way. I think we tried to practice the right way and prepare the right way. What happened on game day was ultimately a reflection of what we practiced. And I thought we had great leadership from our coaches, and it filtered down to the guys who really drove the culture. We had so many guys that I played with over the course of a lot of years that, really understood that, okay, I'm going to care about my teammates and I'm going to care about helping the team win. And whatever personal agenda you had, individual success and individual awards, I don't want to make those insignificant, but they weren't as significant as what we were trying to accomplish as a team. And I think being a real selfless player and understanding that if the ball didn't come your way as a receiver and it went somewhere else, that was a great thing for the team, as opposed to a lot of times, if it doesn't go to you or if you don't make the tackle, you get frustrated that you don't feel like you're a part of it. To me, it was always when we'd score touchdowns, we'd celebrate with the O-line, because without them, we didn't have anything. I didn't have time to throw the ball. We didn't have holes that we could open up in the O-line for our backs to get through. We didn't have, when we had tight end like Gronk at the point of attack, early in my career, Dan Graham, one of the great blockers that I've ever seen, we could run to the tight end, and that tight end now could release up the seam and throw the ball for a big gain on third down. You can get to big targets in the red area. But again, it was all teamwork. It was the running backs blocking and pass protection so that the receivers could catch the ball. And then it was receivers blocking in the run game so we could spring our backs for long runs. Those were the things that I thought we celebrated a lot as a team that maybe aren't glorified on television, but those are the things I'd like to point out when I'm on Fox next year. It's that this is the ultimate team sport. We're playing chess out there. We're not thinking about, necessarily where the ball is. I'm looking for things that are creating these opportunities for everybody to make plays, whether it's offense, defense, or in the kicking game.
The way you've described the team here throughout this entire conversation, whether it's NOBULL or you're talking about those Patriot squads, do you think that's because you're like pick 199? Guy that wasn't necessarily Heisman in college? Because the big story that everybody says that was a New England Patriot, that was a player, they go, Bill Belichick would say the same things to Tom Brady, who is sitting in the front row, as he would say to everybody else. And I think people that played high school football are like, yeah, of course, he would coach everybody the same way. But that's not normal across the NFL.
Yeah.
I think you know that from now probably hearing about stuff in other buildings. And the reason why it's mentioned so much is because it's not normal. Like, you just have this, why do you think you're the guy who would go on to be the greatest of all time, but also would take a mother from a head coach in front of all of your peers and not really, make a big deal out of it? Actually, you would warrant the team to get better because now Bill could say that to everybody else on the team. Did you realize that in a moment that was one of the traits that you have that not a lot of people have? And why do you think you're that person?
Well, I think I was coached pretty hard in high school and I was coached pretty hard in college, and I was used to that style. And I think we all got to the Patriots, and when we did things right, there was a lot of team success. And when we didn't do things right, I think what I appreciated about that environment and what I see in the business world a lot, and I don't see it as much in NFL teams right now, is accountability. And I think that there's a certain way that the team needs to operate in order to be successful. And I was okay with that. If the coach was going to be hard on me, I was going to accept the difficult coaching because I needed to hear it. And again, it motivated me. And there was a lot of players on our team that would see me get coached hard and that they would say, okay, I got to step my game up because I don't want to get yelled at. Tom's getting yelled at. I don't want to get yelled at.
Yeah.
How do I up my game? And I think that's what accountability looks like. And you can't be, so have your ego so big that, any criticism is going to, lessen your confidence. I mean, look, you're going out there in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks in Vegas and you got hundreds of millions of people watching. You better be tough at that point. You better have not go in there with, a weak attitude.
Fragile.
I think you got to go in there and you got to embrace the challenge, embrace the opportunity. You're going to be tested. And if your coach tests you and your teammates test you, then you can go beat your competition. If they're not testing and you're waiting for game day to figure things out, you're at a disadvantage. So I love the fact that I was pushed every day to be my best. And I love that I had the ability to push my teammates every day to be their best. And when I did that, I knew that there was accountability back on me, that I was expected to go be my best. And ultimately that led to a lot of team success. So there's only one way to do it, in my opinion. You could do it over a short period of time. I don't think Andy Reid, lets his players get off the hook. I don't think Kyle Shanahan lets his players get off the hook. I see those guys with the very disciplined style. I respect those programs for how they run it. And I hope all the teams can learn from that so that we can create the most competitive NFL that there could be, and people continue to love the sport like I have over a long period of time.
There's a lot of different ways to go about it, but it feels like if there isn't accountability, there isn't success following in anything. That genuinely feels like that. So anytime the Patriot Way gets mentioned, I think that's my first and everybody's first thought is like everybody is being held accountable to the same exact standard. Now, when you're 40 years old and you've won 6 Super Bowls and you're already being called the GOAT, was there anything to you getting to the point of just being sick? Like, I'm tired of Bill Belichick talking to me like I'm a 23-year-old. Because that was kind of the lingering at the end of your time at New England, is that although you had been the guy that just was, hey, I'm one of the guys, even though you never were, I respect the fact that you viewed yourself as one of the guys, having drinks with the boys, taking care of the boys, hanging out with the boys. Like, everything you did that I've heard is like incredible teammate, and you didn't have to. And for as long as you did it, phenomenal stuff. That's why everybody says hi. But at the end of your time with Bill, did there come a time where you're like, all right, Bill, I'm sick of this. Okay, I am a father now. I've made it. Is that real? Or do you think a lot of this stuff that kind of got said at the end of your run at New England with you and Bill kind of got taken out of context or kind of misunderstood?
Yeah, I think first of all, you said like, to be one of the guys. That's what I always enjoyed more than anything about playing competitive sports, was what I was doing with the guys. So none of that felt like that was a stretch for me. I loved hanging out with my teammates in the locker room and feeling like I was completely vulnerable, to go in there and express how I felt. And what you saw on the field was very much who I was. I think the challenging part is you get off the field and you go out to a restaurant and you go, somewhere and you feel like, I have to, you're not in a protected environment. I felt like in those locker rooms, I was very protected. I was surrounded by people that loved what I loved. And obviously my respect for Coach Belichick is pretty well documented. He was an incredible leader and coach for our team. And I tried to do my best every single day that I took the field. I knew that he did the same thing. And I think that's why I respected his coaching so much. So toward the later part of my career, I really think there was so much people just trying to create some division, that most of it was untrue. But it's just the way the world works. And naturally, I think division from within is a big problem in these team environments. And I don't like seeing any dysfunction in team environments. I want everyone seeing things through one set of eyes, through one goal, through one vision, one mission, what we're trying to do with NOBULL. And I've got a great leader in Mike Rapoli who's going to create that vision for what we plan to do in our expansion and our growth.
Well, you and Coach Belichick did something that nobody else is ever going to do. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes in the middle of it. If they're able to do this for 20 years straight, more power to them.
Incredible. I feel the same way.
Yeah, like relationship-wise, not like humans, let alone football, strategy, ability, team evolution, salary cap, everything, let alone luck with injuries, everything that goes into it. But just humans, the aspect of humans having to work together for that long is abnormal. So you got, victory lap for what you guys did up there. Then you go down to Tampa Bay, and we happen to be down there about the same time. The amount of cranes that came to the city whenever you came there, obviously the ticket sales, everything that went through the roof for the Buccaneers. You win a Super Bowl there. It's beautiful. You now outright GOAT of the NFL. But with that comes like the immediate conversation, and you're getting into sports media, so you'll obviously recognize this. It's been happening to Michael Jordan since he retired the third time. So Michael Jordan now is the GOAT. Well, is LeBron James better than Michael Jordan? This is every day for some sports media. Every Single day, this is some of it. So that's going to come with people tearing down Michael Jordan to either put up LeBron James or tear down LeBron James to put over Michael Jordan. It's starting to happen with Patrick Mahomes right now, where there's people saying, he's already greatest of all time, better than Tom Brady. Tom Brady wasn't able to blah, 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 blah. Do you appreciate that? Do you respect that? Do you hate that? How do you feel about the bullshit that kind of comes alongside of being the greatest of all time for the biggest league on earth, Tom?
Yeah, I think that there's nothing that Patrick can do, in my opinion, that takes away from what I tried to accomplish in my career. And there's nothing that I did can take away from what he's trying to accomplish. I feel like all I tried to be was the best I could be. And I didn't, even though I had sporting idols, like I said, I could never be Steve Young. I could never be Joe Montana. Those are the guys I could never be Dan Marino or John Elway. These were my childhood idols. And they had incredible careers, and they put as much as they could into their career, and I really respect them for that. And I just tried to do the same thing. And believe me, if anybody can go out there and win 7 Super Bowls, I have so much respect for them. I understand how difficult it is. I will congratulate them, and I'm going to, give whatever it is a big hug. I texted my friend who plays with Pat after the game, and I just said, tell him congrats. I mean, just awesome to watch him play. And I love watching him lead his team. And of all the things I love leadership, and I love people that are selfless. I hate selfish teammates. I don't like being around people that are self-serving and always trying to create their own self-serving narrative about who they are. I love teams. I love team sports. I love celebrating success with other people and the businesses I'm a part of, whether that's being a part of the Fox broadcast team. I know that I'm just playing one role. Whether it's being a part of NOBULL, I know I'm playing one role. I need a lot of other teammates to help me come in and be successful. And I embrace that. There's so many things I'm not good at, and there's so many things I don't know. I get to be around people that are the best in the world at what they do, and I get to learn from them. So I see that as just continuing to add to my own learnings and my growth, and I still have hopefully a long life ahead. We'll see how it goes, but I've enjoyed it to this point, and hopefully there's a great second chapter ahead.
Yeah, we assume you're never going to die, Tom. That is just what we all assume for how
That's going to happen for sure.
Last question here, and we appreciate the hell out of your time. It feels like Patrick Mahomes has a lot of the similar traits and thoughts and mindsets that you do, which is why NFL fans are so excited that he's only 28 years old in this entire thing. There's a guy on our show who is diehard Patriot fan, has been to so many parades because of what you and your teammates have done. Yeah. Boston Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Tommy, I have to.
What's up, Boston?
I have to start and just say thank you. My whole life has been incredible because of the fact that you have won 6 Super Bowls, and I'm a loser every day, but I'm a winner as a football fan because of you and what the Patriots were able to do. So thank you. But looking forward with the Patriots, there was a clip that came out. It was you, Matt Light, and one other talking to Zolak, kind of about who Gerard Mayo, is as a player, teammate, everything. And you reference him as Gerard Belichick in it. What do you think the new era of New England with Belichick is going to be, with Mayo is going to be? And how do you feel he will do, kind of not having to copy what Bill had done and make his own thing in New England going forward?
Yeah, Gerard was a great leader, a great captain, a great friend. I think he had tremendous amount of success in football and then had success in other parts of his life when he retired. And then him coming back into coaching, I think is great for the NFL and certainly great for the Patriots. He's got a great understanding of how things need to be done. I think Gerard does an incredible job relating to everybody in the locker room, all the coaches, and I think he'll do a great job. So, it's tough for the Patriots. It's tough for every team in the NFL. After 2 weekends from now, it's going to be tough for 31 other teams for an entire offseason. And, there's only one happy team at the end of the year, and then 31 other teams are looking for answers, trying to figure out how to get back. And the Patriots are one of those teams, and they made some significant changes. There's been a lot of change in the NFL. That's always certain. I'm just excited to pay attention and watch it, and I'll be paying attention all off season, every move, and I know when I hit the ground running with Fox next year, we'll be up to speed and ready to go out there and kick some ass.
Absolutely. And I would be remiss if I didn't ask. You said you grew up watching the San Francisco 49ers. There was a report that Kyle Shanahan potentially tried to lure you out of retirement to come be quarterback. He told Brock Purdy that. Brock Purdy is, handled it in the exact way that you would expect Brock Purdy, that we've learned him. Upset about it, but also understanding. This is going to happen every year for you. People are going to try to talk you out of retirement. And what do you think about Brock Purdy being maybe the next I mean, it would have to be 22 more years of this. But, like, maybe the next Tom Brady. It seems like he has the it factor. He's obviously been underappreciated and underthought. What are your thoughts on Brock Purdy leading the Niners? And what are your thoughts on people trying to lure you out of retirement pretty much every offseason, I would assume, until you're 60 years old, probably?
Yeah, I think Brock's done a great job with the opportunity. You know, he got it, and he's taken advantage of it. He was a late-round pick. I know he's got a chip on his shoulder, and he wants to go out there and prove every day that he's the right fit for that team. And there's it's a great organization they're running. I really respect Kyle, but Brock's done a hell of a job. And, I think in football, whether you're a free agent, I've heard so many draft stories from when I was drafted. Oh, I was a scout for the Packers at the time. And, I was a scout for the Colts at the time. And had we taken you? And I think you can look at everything in football and say, what if? And the reality is I deal with what happened and the decisions that were made, whether it was free agency for me, whether it was signing contracts with the Patriots. And, in this last off season, there's a lot of different things that people would suggest, but I kind of just kept my mind focused on where I wanted to go. And again, this was a great year for me to sit back and watch and learn and get prepared for being in the Fox booth next year.
The Colts should have,
Yeah,
I know you
sure.
paid,
Come on, Colt.
But when you were a free agent, I don't know if you heard, Tom, when you were a free agent, buddy, I was loud about you coming to Indianapolis. Obviously, Tampa Bay has what? Derek Jeter. I think the mayor of the city was there.
Bill Gates.
They built a building for you. I mean, you deserved it all, bud. We appreciate you. Good luck with
Thank
NOBULL.
you.
Good luck with Fox.
Thank you.
And thank you for the time. You're the best, dude.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Good luck to you guys. Keep it up, man. You guys are doing a great job.
Well, we stink, but that's neither here nor there. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Brady.
That's that chip on your shoulder.
Amen. Thank you, Tom.